Hello YouTube, and my last video I said this won't be another video about Christmas lights. So here are some Christmas lights, and I'm not going to do a video about them. I'm going to do a video about the plug that I'm going to put in the end of this. So my last video I made these set of lights, and there's a power supply sitting here. I was going to make it safe. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about this. This is the plug I've got for the end. And this is a Amigo plug I've got off Amazon, £6. And this is the type I use to put my own circuitry inside there. And the reason I use plugs like this as opposed to plugs like this, which are completely sealed units, these ones have screws in them so you can take them apart, which is important if you want to take them apart and put your own circuitry inside them, because most of them are heat staked and you have to break the seal. So you tend to get these cheap ones from China, and they are dirt cheap. They've actually gone up in price because the quality's gone up, which is annoying because I don't care about the quality. I just want the case. 2 screws have been removed from the case, and then this just lifts off. And inside we should find our cheap, nasty power supply. Again, everything is one-handed. It's really difficult. There we go. So, wow, that's nothing to that, is there? Hasn't even been powered up. What have we got? We've got a fuse. There's your main transformer. Really not very nice output windings on the transformer. See, they're not very well insulated. I think the insulation melted a bit there. So I doubt the insulation on this transformer is great. 2 output diodes. Probably take it there in. Yep, they're paralleled up. See, the tracks are joint. That's for current rating, probably because they found these get really hot. Smoothing caps. LED in the output. No active circuitry at all. So absolutely no feedback going back, so it's not regulated at all. So normally what you'd have, say, this is 5 volts. You'd have a way to signal that, say if this voltage was to drop because of your load, you'd get a signal back to drive the transformer harder to boost the voltage up. So there's absolutely no feedback at all. And this is just a simple chip that does the chopping up of the waveform to drive the transformer. So there's nothing to this at all. Isolation here is pretty good, but I wouldn't trust that transformer. That's a single coated wire. So the input side on this transformer is mains. Equivalent output is the 5 volt. You want them to be as isolated as possible, but yeah, I don't trust that coating so much. It'll do, but I wouldn't say it's particularly great. But yeah, they have made a fairly good isolation gap there. Nothing really exciting at all. It's a bit rubbish because as soon as you pull current off it, the output will drop. But what I'm going to do now is cut these leads off, stick my own circuit in here, and then put the case back on, wherever I put it. Somewhere. Here. Good thing with this case I'm going to leave in is there's a bit of plastic over the terminals on the actual pins of the plug. Some cases you get, they'll just be bare terminals and you have to put like tape over them or something to isolate them, but this one's actually got a nice bit of plastic there. So what I've got to do is form the wires, put my circuit board in there, put a substantial knot, making sure it's thick enough so it won't come out that hole, because of course you don't want to be able to pull the wires out. Well, if you pull the wires out, it wouldn't be so bad as long as they're disconnected from the circuit board. You want them to break off, and you want them both to break off. You don't want just to leave one and one come out, because that would be live. So you want them both to come out, because that way they're isolated then. So yeah, just put a big enough knot in there, and then we should be good to go. So this is how my circuit board will sit in the plug. I'll put a little tape, Captain tape along the back of it to stop anything bad happening. And also stop it rattling around in there. Might even put a little dab of glue in there, a little bit of hot glue. But that's pretty much the essence of it. There's a knot in there so you can't pull the wire out. And I'll just put the case on that. And that's it all together now. And importantly, you can't pull the wires out, which is where the main safety feature is. Well, it's not really a feature, is it? It's essential that you can't pull the wires out. And I'll plug it in here. Out of the way. And there we go. They're not Christmas lights, because I promise you not to do a video on Christmas lights. But they're lit, and it works. And So these LED lights that were once tungsten lights are now drawing 1.8 watts and a power factor of 22%. So the power factor is rubbish because it's a capacitive dropper. And that's it. They use less power. Although not really. Although they do. Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, before I confuse myself, I shall see you next time. Bye.